Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to cilinixfxcapital. Hope you're all doing great. Hope you're all still alive after the move we got this morning. Welcome and hope you had a good weekend. I mean, the weekend was great, but this morning has been absolutely horrendous for the markets. We got the biggest liquidation event. It seems like, at least since March, all right? So major liquidations, a lot of people on leverage were caught out. And honestly, I mean, I did not predict or I did not expect this move either, at least not with this aggressiveness, right? I mean, over the course of last week, numerous times I've talked about this level right here at 113,000, right? Where we still had a fair value gap. And it was a point of control, etc. So that was still, that was in the back of my mind. But yesterday I also told you that I think Bitcoin is looking quite strong. I don't think we're going to spike into that. And what caused us to spike down into that area, I'm still not quite certain, right? And I know that's not a great thing to hear because you're tuning into these videos because you want to know what has happened. No, I mean, purely technically, if we look at Bitcoin, which is what we're ultimately looking at right now, right? And I'll still do an altcoin update a little bit later this morning. But if we're looking at Bitcoin specifically, we just dropped down on the higher time frames. We dropped down into this fair value gap that we had. On the lower time frames, we also had a fair value gap right here around 112,000. We had the 30-day rolling VWAP there. We have the 200 EMA there. So, on the 12-hour time frame here, it doesn't even look that bad, I gotta say. But for altcoins, it looks worse. And it was also, quite unexpected. And I would argue, if you take a look at the order flow, right? So here we're looking at the CVD and the open interest. That's this chart, one down from the top. And what you can see is that in a matter of 4 minutes, it seems like billions of dollars were closed, right? And that's obviously also liquidations. That's also some sort of a ripple effect. But it seems to me that at least $1 billion in Bitcoin was sold off in a matter of 2 minutes, all right, by some party. Now, whoever that is, I don't know, all right? It's probably not an exchange. It would be strange if it was an exchange. It's either a market maker, it's a fund retiring right now, selling off all their crypto. It's an OTC desk being extremely stupid. We've seen moves like this before, going from Sunday to Monday, and I always advocate, Sunday to Monday is very volatile, so be aware of that. But this I did not expect. Now, the question is, what's next? All right, we have a major liquidation event. Now, first of all, it's probably going to be a little bit calm today, all right? Usually straight after such an event, there's a little bit of PTSD in the markets. Monday, over the course of the last 3 months, has always been bearish. Monday and Friday, those are usually bad days. So I would think it's most likely we're going to remain relatively stable right now. And then ultimately the question is can we hold that 30-day rolling VWAP, yes or no? And then I have to, even though I'm not certain, I have to tell you what I think is most likely. I've always told you over the course of the last month that I have a bullish bias. I still hold that. All right. And what we do see is that there's a point of control at the bottom of the range right here. So it very much looks like a major liquidation spike. We have imbalances to the upside. We're still holding the 30-day rolling VWAP. So far, we've also gotten a good reaction at this fair value gap right here around 112,000, which is good. And then if you take a look at the general at the general financial markets, volatility index opened a little bit higher, but ultimately is still quite low. Dollar strength index is decreasing. Gold is up, but that hasn't been a bearish indication over the course of the last couple of weeks. And then the S&P 500 pre-market is also down slightly, but not much, right? So I would argue that the fundamentals around the crypto markets still seem fine. We still have a Coinbase Bitcoin premium, surprisingly, but that's not surprisingly, but we do still have that. So I would have to tell you that, we can still form some sort of a bullish divergence by spiking down a little bit lower. But ultimately, I do think we'll be able to hold this support level, and I do think we'll be able to regain stability in this area right here between 114.8 and 112.5. I would say that's the main area where I think we can find some stability. And then from that stability, like I said, I mean, usually there's some PTSD in the markets initially, and then tomorrow or maybe later today I'll talk about whether we can get a bullish breakout from that or a bearish breakout, but it's going to be relatively quiet most likely today. But those are my thoughts. That's what I think you need to know. If you do have any questions, let me know down in the comments. But for now, thank you for watching, take care, and bye.